Don't be afraid of the onions. I tell that to everybody because you're going to see it looks like it's a lot. So just look what happens and why is it like this and how is it important to be like this. Smashed in. You see that? That's what you want right there. That's what you want right there. Almost charred it. My name is Ramzi and I was born in Southern California, in Los Angeles. Grew up there and also grew up in Saudi Arabia, interestingly enough, in Aramco. So if you guys are familiar with Aramco, I'm an Aramco brat, as we used to call us. That school system goes until about 9th grade, and then we're kind of forced to go to boarding school. So I went back to the States, to Minnesota. So I had sort of best of both worlds, which is basically East Coast and my West Coast upbringing. And then continued back home, as I call it, my second home, which is California. And I went to school there.
وتعلمت لبناني شوي عربي.
علمت لبناني, علمت عربي. لبناني علمت عربي from my parents. My parents are Lebanese, of course. But both of them also from the States. My dad was there when he was 17 in the 50s. My mom graduated from Hollywood High School.
Wow.
Hollywood High.
Okay.
So we're not COVID 2 months and now I'm an American. Nothing like that.
Tell me about your American journey. What marked you? What did you learn? How did you get introduced into food?
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and I can say I was lucky, is the word, because I was brought up in California. California is a wonderful state. It's the Golden State. It's West Coast, beautiful sunshine. The people, the vibe is just down to earth, and with that comes a lot of cuisines. So we were blessed to have street food. That's where really street food came out. There's New York, of course, and there's California. And California, we've got Italian and we've got Mexico. So my influence is a lot with Mexico because of the proximity. And then, of course, everything else, the Arab culture that I'm actually from, coupled with the Mexican, Italian, and of course the American cuisine, which is burgers and steaks and whatnot. We were lucky to be part of that, and that's kind of my love started there. It started young, actually, which was around 14. As I told you earlier, we went back to boarding school. So I left when I was 14. I was on my own at 14. I went to a private boarding school in Minnesota, and in our dorm rooms, we're not allowed to have anything except for our bed and our alarm clock so we can go to school and do well. I had a grill and I had a fridge. Nobody knew that until senior year. So 3 years later, 2 weeks before graduation, I got caught grilling tenderloins, steaks, fillets, and they didn't know what to do with me. It's a true fact, and it's in the yearbook. It's in my yearbook. Okay. It stays there. They didn't know what to do with me because I'm coming from Saudi, in a sense, Aramco. So they couldn't send me home. So they let me off by stripping an RA. It's called a RA, which is resident assistant or a prefect back then. They took that away from me for 2 weeks, and then I graduated. But we formed a group called FLC, Food Lovers Club. And then all we do is we would meet on the weekends, and we would just cook and grill and do stuff. And the way to do it is you get your towel, you put it underneath the door. I learned from the guys who smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke, but they used to put them down underneath, and then you have a fan that blows out on your window. We did all of that with steaks. So that's where it kind of started.
You slept with the smells of steak next to your bed.
If it was a cologne or anything, it'd be great. I love the smell of burnt meat or grilling. The grilling smell to me is just wonderful. So what we have today is, I'm very excited, I'm going to get you a double-double, which if you know, In and Out, California. Also going to do our double meat cheese, which is a simple double cheeseburger. And then we cannot pass up the Oklahoma smash burger. Burgers is such a universal staple. It doesn't matter. It crosses religion, it crosses color, it crosses creed, it crosses the borders of international cuisine. They all have some type of burger. Wherever you're from, you're going to have a burger. And one thing that I do, and I'm sure a lot of people do, and it's not just for me, whatever restaurant I go to, if they have a burger, I will have to have it as a starter, as a whatever. It doesn't matter where I'm at, I have a burger. And we just split it or we eat it. It's something that I start with. And it's really one of my favorite things to do.
How did you end up in Dubai?
Well, I was working in advertising and marketing, and there was a company called Darcy, which was the sister company of Leo Burnett. and that was in Lebanon. So I moved back to Lebanon after graduation. Well, after working in Texas, there's my brisket and open flame, sort of where that came from. So I was in Texas for 2 years after graduation of university. Went back home, vacation, stayed there till 2000. Just fell in love with it. Fell in love with Lebanon again. Like it was the heyday back then. Wonderful place, still is. And that company head office started to move to Dubai, because Dubai is becoming the hub back in that day. And we're talking, I don't want to say the long time ago. So all the head offices were moving here. There was no media city, there was no internet city, no JLT, no JBR, none of that was there. It was just the Trade Center and Sheikh Zayed Road, and it stopped a little bit closer to here. So a lot of those head offices were moving there and they're opening there. I got lucky and got pinched to come here, and that's how I started to come to Dubai. I got married, came here. My son was 3-4 months young. We brought him here, and I've been here ever since.
One day,
20 plus years. 20 plus
one day you woke up and said, enough, I want to go on my own, I want to grill burgers.
Yeah, 100%. And it wasn't actually one day. Ever since I landed here, the first thing that went into the house was my grill. And that's the truth. The first thing that went in was the grill, not the couch, not the bed, it was my grill. So I had a smoker way before anybody had any kind of smoker. And then I kind of elevated my smoking techniques, because it was an electric one, then we went to charcoal, then we went to open fire, etc. I've got a lot of different grills, so it was my passion back then, and I would do it. I even had a small business, if you may, in the agency. I had 22 clients, you want to call them, but they were my colleagues that I would do lunch for them, and I'd bring lunch. It was a starter, main meal, and a drink, and I did that before Safadi did his 25 dirham. Now you kind of know the dates now if I tell you 25 dirham for the pla.
So burger era started in Dubai, burger trends started in Dubai.
Yes.
Everybody's doing burgers.
Yes.
Lots of people, lots of new, I would say, individuals are doing burgers.
100%.
Big names are doing burgers. And comes you.
Yeah.
Different, unique, nobody copied you yet. And you have your own way. Where did you learn it? What makes your burger special, and what makes you who you are?
That's a wonderful question, because burgers will never die. They say it's a trend, or it's a let's say it's passing by. It will never die. You have thick burgers and you have smash burgers, thin burgers. Right now the trend is the smash burger. Everybody's doing smash burgers. My unique smash burger that I do is a homage to George Motz. George Motz is the grandfather, I don't think he'll like the word grandfather, the father of burgers. And he has a place called Hamburger America in New York. He just opened it, but he has been to every single burger place across the US, and he came across one that he always does, and I just fell in love with it, which was the Oklahoma fried onion burger. And it's 2 patties, smashed with the thin onion. That's the secret. So now it's out. It has to be thin onion. You can't have an onion that's just, you don't want an onion in your mouth. Smashed together, wedged in between 2 cheese. No condiments. That's his claim to fame, which is the onion acts as the condiment. You don't need ketchup. You don't need any sauces or anything like that. Everybody does it now.
It's a hash brown style.
Kind of like a hash brown
burger.
style, 100%. And I fell in love with it, and that's what I do here. I do that in events. I do that here in the university, among other burgers. But that burger to me is one of the best burgers, because it's so simple. And for me, simplicity is actually sophistication. It's so much better when you're just simple in terms of ingredients. Of course, we have our burger sauce. We have everything's scratch made. But fell in love with it. Ingredients is also very important, because you can have a burger that tastes this way or that way, but it's the amount of fat, the ratio, the grind. Do you grind it once? Do you grind it twice? All of that we take into consideration.
So when you see a name of a place you cannot read,
yes,
SYOTG,
That's
no,
great.
you've arrived to the address.
Yes.
So SYOTG, see you on the grill.
Yeah, with no dots. So
With no dots?
You can't, so they try to, yeah, exactly. Is this, yeah, and I nod my head in shame, yes. SYOTG.
Dubai AUG. Why here?
Yeah.
And how can someone try your burger if they cannot come in?
Yes, that's true. That was a big challenge. My reason, I have really important reason for me to start here, because a lot of people actually was like, you know, you're going to be limited, as you rightly said. You can't have anybody in, you're not on Sheikh Zayed, you're not in the mall or whatnot. As a start, my first, let's say, brick and mortar, to me, this is wonderful because I'm with the students. The students to me are dear to my heart. I remember when I was a college student, I wanted to make sure that there's good food for them. So what I do is not just a burger, I do a high quality burger among other dishes for them. So in order for them to not leave or order or bring from home, they can actually come to me and get a very good, decent burger.
You see faces every day?
I see faces every day. I know their names. We're friendly. It's, to me, if you ask why am I actually even doing all of this, honestly, the way that it brings people together, it's insane. Food just brings everybody. And that to me is my number one thing, to see how that brings everybody. That's what I meant earlier, that it crosses everything. It doesn't matter where you're from, what social class you're in or not, food actually.
So to put it into perspective and making sure that everyone can try the burgers, you're at events, supper clubs, deliveries. What's the business model?
Yeah, 100%. So we have a brick and mortar in the university. We can cater to you at your home. We cater to you at different various events, and then we're also doing delivery. So we just started delivery. We're very young at delivery, really learning the ropes there, because there is a science there in delivery, and those are the ways that you can do that. And of course, look out for us soon. Hopefully, we might be opening up a new shop later. Yeah.
It's burger time. Let's grill.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's get grilling. تعرفت عليه بالبرجر كومبيتيشن، تعرفت عليه بالبرجر كومبيتيشن وكان حاطط جو روعة، كان حاطط جو عظيم، بيلفت النظر، سبيشل، ديفرنت، راحت الايام جت الايام التقيت فيه بايفنتس بالسيركال، راحت الايام ورجعت الايام وقلت لا لازم اقعد مع هذا الزلمه، لازم اتعرف عليه اكثر، لانه بالايفنت كان هو عم بيعرق وكان هو مركز انه يربح، بالسيركال كان اسم الله الصف مثل هون واخر الدنيا وما قدرت اقرب حتى لعنده تقدر اكل برجر. اليوم التقينا باي دي كمان الجامعه اللي كان عبالي فوت وشوف شو فيها هالجامعه and here we are. رح نبلش من المطبخ.
First thing we're doing is we're getting potato buns, which are fantastic for this type of burger, and the way that it absorbs the beef and the way that it is soft. And we're gonna grill them. I don't need butter. A lot of people butter them. We don't need butter at all. The meat is gonna give the butter once we put it in there.
Everyone does a burger. What is a good burger in your opinion?
A good burger, you start with high ingredients because you need that high ingredients. Why? Because mainly you don't want to overcook the burger. When you don't overcook the burger, you need to make sure that the meat is actually of quality. Burger is simplicity. It's bun, meat, cheese, and some acid, which is a pickle. You put those together, of course you can put your condiments, that's a burger. But the best burger, in my opinion, is a thin burger that has a little bit of sauce wedged in between a potato bun. The way that it all mixes together is bar none.
بتعرف عندي سؤال ما عندي جواب عليه.
Hey.
باخر 3-4 سنين ساعة اللي صارت موضة البرجر اكثر واكثر او ساعة برمت العالم اكثر عم فتش على برجر. كل العالم بتحط لحمه وفات، ذاتس ات. بس ساعة بتذكر طفولتي لحام الضيعه وبعدها اليوم ساعة بطلع الضيعه، لحام الضيعه البرجر على طريقته، بحط لها بيض، بحط لها بريد كرامز، بحط لها الخلطه سبيسيال، بحط لها ورشستر شاير وغيره. كيف برايك طلع هالاختراع تبع البرجر يلي بيطلع بالاخر عندك 20% لحمه والباقي اشياء ما لها معنى؟
هول الاشياء اللي هلا قلت لي اياهم هودي they're different purposes, but as a whole هيدا سميها meatloaf. هيدا meatloaf لإلي, which is it's not a bad thing or a good thing.
But it's not a burger.
But it's not a burger, exactly. The bread is for it to absorb so it doesn't crumble and break. But if you have the right consistency, which comes to my grinding, if you grind it properly with the ratio of fat to meat, you won't need the bread.
Is it 80-20 usually?
80-20 is fantastic.
That's
some people do 70-30, some people do a little bit more because they want more. Now, if you're using pure Wagyu, you can't go more than 80-20. It'll just fall apart.
What's your favorite meat to use?
Favorite meat is Angus.
Angus.
And I use US. I only use US when I come to the burger. When I have Wagyu, because I mix it with Wagyu, it's going to be Australian.
American has more flavor?
Has much better flavor, I think. And when you look at it, the chuck, which is the part of it, it's massive versus Australia, New Zealand. It's a little bit smaller. So the cattle itself is
Any
important.
fat or there is a specific fat you use. فيك تجيب فات من يعني تنظيفات اللحمه بتجيبهم او في فات بيجي من محل معين.
لا في fat you can do which is trimmings. So to answer your question, yes, you can have that, which are basically fat trimmings.
Potato bun او normal bun.
Potato bun.
Potato bun. دايما.
Yeah, potato bun. Brioche with chicken.
بريوش مع تشيكن،
Yeah.
بوتيتو مع اللحمه.
Brioche lends itself very nice with chicken.
Okay,
Potato
nice.
bun with this. Lot. People mix it up, but again, remember one thing. It's zone. You have to consider zone with people. You know, there's lots of times you say you've got to have it this way. Yes, as a person creating it, you want them to at least experience it in the way that you give it to them. But at the same time, you know, they.
نحن بلشنا رمزي بسؤال هو what is a good burger. So بالاخر في ناس بتعمل a bad burger. So let's start with there are rules for a good burger.
Yeah.
And then في ذوق طبعا حبيته او ما حبيته.
مظبوط.
بس في the rules of doing it right.
Yes.
اللي جاي عم جرب احكيهم فيهم انا وياك. وبعدين بتحب ما بتحب بدنا اذواق. بس good versus bad.
Correct.
ريحة كتير حلوة المطبخ كتير.
Okay.
ريحة نظافة، ريحة فريش ingredients، ريحة جريل أبيض، ريحة لحمة لونها سبيسيال.
All right. Don't be afraid of the onions. I tell that to everybody because you're going to see it looks like it's a lot. So just look what happens and why is it like this and how is it important to be like this. Smashed in. You see that? That's what you want right there. That's what you want right there. Almost charred it. You know how you have a fantastic Neapolitan pizza? What's one of the best parts of the pizza on the outside? Where they think it's burnt. That's the best part, where it's the crust. Same thing, same idea of this.
Caramelized onions.
Yes.
Without the sugar.
Don't forget to season. You gotta season your beef. And be a bit liberal with it. How do you know it's done?
How do you know it's done? The onions turn black.
The onions, and it starts forming a crust, and then all the liquid comes to the top. And it's ready for a flip, and then
Never
cheese.
press it. You press the first time.
Yeah. That's what you want. The potato bun lends itself absolutely well without doing any kind of butter. I don't need butter. There's no need for that extra. I want to taste the meat. No ketchup, no mayo, no mustard. What we do is just add a little bit more of our own house-made burger sauce.
طراوتها عظيمة، تتغنج، ريحتها عظيمة، تنقص بطريقة كتير حلوة، ومن جوا لحمتين، شوية بيكلز، الخبزة بلشت تشرب انتبهتوا كل الجوسز، سمكتها على القد، على الأطراف، واو. الفكر عامل شيء very unconventional وما حسيت بطعمة البصل ما حسيت بقرشة البصل. It adds flavor, caramelization, body, crunch وكل اللي عم بينقط هو enough fat اللي موجود بقلب اللحم. روعة 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 روعة. Super good quality beef. Amazing quality beef. ما بدها شيء. ولا كاتشب ولا موتارد ولا مايونيز. Nothing to alter the flavor. Beautifully done. طعمة البهار بالاخر هيك الحرات الصغار على الضلعين. The experience is ongoing. بعدنا عم بحس اشياء عم تتغير بتمي من هون ومن هون. رمزي برافو.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
job,
you so
good
much.
job, good
This
job.
is hard work.
Very good job. يلا next at your event.
Yeah.
خفيفه نظيفه سريعه بالباربيكيو برا على البلكون قبل ما كثير تشوب بالليل بعده طقس منيح. جمعه حلوه. رمزي بولعها. شفته ملا ضحكه، شفته ما اهضمه، شفته كيف بيحكي من قلبه. I love this guy.
Thank you so much. I'm blushing.
Flat grill versus fire grill.
Yes.
شو بتفضل؟
Two different things. The flat grill gives you the sear that you want. The live fire will give you the taste of that charcoal, that beautiful, fire-kissed meat, which is what we're going to do with the Wagyu Classic. So this is something we call the Wagyu Classic. I just form it, so we form all our burgers here, hand, and then the thing I do is we make a dimple. Why do we make a dimple? So when it cooks, it doesn't shrink. And then we just do this, just as like that. And then we're going to season, and we'll move it over there. Don't want it to crumble. So this is almost giving it a base before we do it. So
you put it on the flat grill.
see? So now
exactly. بتسكر على بعضها.
Correct.
It sticks.
100%.
بتلزق. ندمت عليها لهونيك؟
Exactly. And
فعلا فهمان.
what
تعلمت
else
هيدي
I
الجورة
do?
اليوم. تعلمته the searing and then grilling. لا
Then-
فهمان. You're burger doctor.
I'm a very doctor. PhD.
PhD in burgers.
Yeah, releasing a little bit. I know I'm going to get, haters for this, but I'm just releasing a little bit so it can actually breathe. Now I've got a little bit of holes in it. It'll actually breathe.
Wow.
So then we take it over here
Yes.
and watch it. That's how we know we have Wagyu in it, because of the fat. When it hits, it actually does it. You do this and turn it.
Never ever
And turn
press.
it. No, this is a thick burger. This is a Wagyu grilled classic, so it's a thicker burger. I like to keep this one not more than medium. Of course, if they want medium well, we'll do it for them, but the way that it comes is going to be medium. So that's going to be around 145, 150 maximum. I will not let it hit 165. I talk Fahrenheit, by the way. A flavor here.
Pure flavor.
Yeah.
And you turn it around. Turn
Yeah,
it
just
around,
so make
turn
sure that
around.
it gets everything. And
Temper
then
it.
we go ahead. See, it's doing its job on this side a little bit more. Now we can start tempering.
So رمزي مش على البركة، بتطلع على الحرارة.
لا, أكيد. I don't play around.
مش على الإحساس.
Not at all. Especially I got students, I got people. This is one of the best tools that anybody needs to have in a kitchen, which is a proper, calibrated thermopen or a thermometer. It's you need it. It's the best. No need to press here or press here. Press something else. Just use that. It's okay. Grilled classic.
خبزتها رائعة، تحميصتها شوي رائعة. And then زحطت شوي معنا. محمس ذوق الخبز اللحمة. طلعوا من جوا، طلعوا حمارة من جوا، طلعوا السيرينج قديش حلو. انتبهتوا؟ هون من برا ومن جوا الطراوة، بس لقطت من برا بلا ما تكون ناشفة. رائعة. اكل برجرز كتير، هيدا غير. نلتقى بشفية بتعرف برجرز، هالزلمة غير. في فن، في عطاء، في دقة. عن جد سميته الدكتور تبع البرجر. PhD in burger doing. لا عن جد بيستاهل. بدي اخبركم انه روعة. الطريقة اللي معملها سيرينج من برا this is new for me. اللحمة اللي هلا انكبست وترك لها هوا جواتها. الخبزة اللي ما عليها زبدة وما فيها طعمة حليب وريحة حليب. This man is amazing and using definitely the best ketchup and mayo out there. بحبه كتير. رشة البهار الخشن بالاخر makes all the difference. برافو. وهيدي هاي الزبدة، هيدا الاساس. نقط الواجيو. One more.
Big night.
شو البيج نايت؟
Big night is basically a take on the Big Mac.
Oh, let's
Yeah.
do it.
AUD, the American University in Dubai. What's their mascot? The Knights. So I named this one Big Night.
قبل ما نكفي، عم طعم التلاميذ جود كواليتي. في
Yes.
ناس تاكل برجر كل يوم.
Yes.
and he's making sure، كنا عم نحكي ورا الكاميرا انه مثل ما بيطعم اولاده بيطعم التلاميذ بخاف عليهم، بيهتم فيهم، بدهم اللي بده ياكل كل يوم برجر ما يقول له ايتينج فاست فود اور يلي هو عم بياكل جود كواليتي، كانه عم بياكل ستيك مع خبزه زيت شي بوتيتو بون شقفه ستيك يلي هي معموله اللحمه، فيك تاكلها مع كاتشب فيك بلا كاتشب. and this amazing quality للتلاميذ هي اللي عم بتخليهم يجوا كل يوم. في ناس تاكل كل يوم، قال لي في ناس تاكل مرتين منها.
Twice a day sometimes they come. Twice a day وانا بعيط عليهم قلت لك جيت الساعة 9 نحن بنفتح 10.
اعطيني رقم امك تدق لها تخبرها. اعطيني رقم امك تخبرها. خلص روح رجع بكره. That's a big night. Big night experience. خبزة بالنص، صوص تحت فوق وبالنص، 4 مرات زيت صوص. شوفي جوا خس مبروش تحت وفوق، جبنة بمحل واحد، بيكلز بمحل واحد كمان. And then it needs to drip. Man, this is gourmet. This is really gourmet. What an experience. Wow. Flavors. شو هالصوص هاي؟ رمزي بطل. ان شاء الله قريبا ان شاء الله يفتح شي محل على الشيخ زايد، نحن وطالعين ونحن ونازلين نطلب، او لا بتعرفوا شو؟ فكرة تانية، صفوا على باب الجامعة واطلبوا دليفري بالباركينج مع اي سي، ما بدها شيء. ودقوا لصديقي خالد بيعطيكم هيدي الطاوله اللي بحطها قدام الديركسيون. خلصت. رمزي يوري كينج.
So the fries that we use is 100% beef tallow. We don't use any seed oils here.
What's beef tallow?
Beef tallow is basically the rendered fat from the beef, which is what our ancestors used to do, and that's how it was properly done. The fries that we used to enjoy back in the day from McDonald's they used to be made in beef tallow. Now they moved to seed oils, which is, does anybody even know what canola is? Canola, people think that it's an actual product. Canola is Canadian, oil, blah, 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 blah. So it's an acronym for a company. We don't use any seed oils here, and we're very happy. Why? It just makes the fry crispier, tastier, and healthier. Crispier, which I found, which is amazing, by the way, when you fry anything in beef tallow, you remain what you're frying. What do I mean by that? ما في شيء بالعربي بنقول طعم الزيت. شربت كتير زيت. You don't have that with our fries. You taste a potato as if you roasted it or baked it. And that's what we offer, because again, I care about what I'm serving to my students. Everything we do here is fresh, scratch made. The sauce, the burger sauce, we make it. Our teriyaki sauce, we make it homemade from scratch. Our salad, for our Caesar salad, everything is done scratch, fresh ingredients. So our tallow fries, we also have just as is, straight. And then we have something called the West Coast, which is basically loaded fries. So it's our signature meat sauce with cheese and our signature OTG sauce. I also have something that we created, which is something called East Coast. What's the East Coast? If you guys are familiar with something called batata harra, so I make a beautiful batata harra using these fries.
كيف بياكلوا فرايز؟
Absolutely.
هيك
Yes.
اطيب من الكاتشب. اوف من جوا قديش طريه. طعمتها قديش طيبه.
Crispy on the outside, still fluffy on the inside, like a baked
Not
potato.
oily
almost.
أبداً?
No, yeah, exactly.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
So well.
Thank you for an amazing experience. تعلمت، سقفت، تسليت، انبسطت، اكلت شيء طيب. انت بتفش الخلق، اللي بتعرفه بفش الخلق، نفسيتك بتعقد. We're gonna meet again.
Teslam, thank you so much for
Much love.
having me actually offer you and cook for you. I mean, it was a pleasure. عن جد.
What an amazing guy. عندكم بالبيت. This is the kind of guy you want.